But right, so today we've decided that we are going to do something a little bit different. I don't do this very, very often because I'm extremely picky when it comes to which games I want to use for a specific example, like a specific themed lecture. Most don't really meet my criteria. This one, the few things I'd rather it had in here, but that it doesn't, but that's okay. It fits it well enough that I decided that we're going to have an official themed lecture today, and it's going to be like focusing on shape and stuff for the first half. Second half, we're going to see someone die horribly because that's always fun. But for the first half, I think shape is actually very good for those of you who maybe underestimate it. A lot of amateurs, for example, are in the habit of underestimating it. They'll take Sentai and play elsewhere because their opponents are amateurs, and even if they don't have the best shape in the world, who cares? They're not going to get caught on that problem anyway. Because they're not pros, they can't really pick everything apart, so they usually get away with bad moves as a result. So here, we have black opening up standard, white opening up standard. Pretty much in every game that I go over, everything is all nice and standard until white plays that. Now we've kind of left standard a little bit far behind. Not the most standard move in the history of ever. But it is not completely insane. No, it's not bad. It's just not what I consider a standard move. I consider 4-4 and 3-4 points to be your standard openings. Your 5-3, I think, has a little bit less. Is 3-3 standard? Again, no. 3-3, especially from white, would be it would be rather slow. When we say standard, we see what we see all the time. We refer to typical win rates. This is played, sure. Is its win rate as solid as 4-4 and 3-4 openings? Probably not so much. However, as Frawlitz is pointing out, Cho-Cho-Han used to be known, I don't know if he was known, but he used to enjoy playing non-standard openings. He used to play your 5-3 points. He used to play, I think, at least one game I can remember where he played a 5-4 point. He kind of dropped that off, though, when he wanted to get better. When he wanted to really become a nice, strong, solid 9-dan, he kind of went back to your more standard 4-4, 3-4 openings, and he did that for a very, very long time until he got where he is now. And now we're seeing him try to, I guess, more introduce some of the more non-standard plays. Again, nothing bizarre. There's a very, very big difference between non-standard like this and bizarre like Tengen or something along those lines. 10-7 opening, very popular, not in professional play. So, what we're going to see now, simple enclosure from black. Is this a recent game? Yes, it is. White is, of course, going to not allow black to get double enclosures. No real reason to gift your opponent with that. Now, only because I've seen this a couple of games recently, I don't know why I'm seeing it, I just am. Because throughout the week, I'm usually clicking on random Q games to see what they're playing, what the trends are, kind of that sort of deal. And some of I never know how to word this, closer to double-digit Qs, I see tend to focus a lot on splitting, because I guess that's what they've been told when there's an enclosure. 3-4 here says we don't split because we don't want our opponent to get an enclosure, while we're only getting a 2-space extension. That's kind of not good for us, especially if we give them any kind of enclosure in Sentai so they can take extensions, so we don't do that. So those of you double-digit Qs or close to the double-digit Qs who've been doing that, you may want to consider not doing that ever again. Instead, we're going to prevent the enclosure. If black wants territory there, he has to make us stronger. As a result, I don't think my sound cut. I still see my audio levels rising. Is my sound okay? Okay, it's just Gerba. Alright. So black says, I want territory. Are we surprised that he said he wanted territory? Not really. He did play the small knight enclosure after all, and those are typically for your more territorial openings. So no surprise there. White says, okay, I'm going to take the strength that you are offering me, and then play something that's really, really odd, and I need your help for this. Maybe I've just not seen it, but is that... This hasn't become normal, has it? R11? Has anyone actually seen... This is the first time I've seen this in a game. Am I alone in that? Is this a thing nowadays? That I have to go back and study? Q6 is... yeah. I know exactly what Kel is referring to. Usually we see the probe here to see what we can get away with. The best result, for example, as in what you should never do in your own games, is if our opponent is too passive and backs off here, then we can get away with murder. Because what are they going to do? Spend another move to kill off that stone? That's so bad. Are they going to spend another move in the corner? Even that is not that great, because we can go and do something else now. But this... I have never seen R11. Yeah, I have never seen R11 there. Armand471 in Twitch chat. I have not seen this. But yes, this is a professional game. As you can see, the players' names are listed there. Hurakami. And yeah, I've never seen an extension this far, so I'm kind of curious to see what he plans on doing with it, especially since, as Froglet has mentioned earlier, this is a player who's not known for real crazy play, but he did like experimenting with the unorthodox style stuff. So I'm curious to see what Black's going to do. Do you guys have any idea? How would you handle this? So I'm sure we're all thinking, okay, he's overplaying us. Smart Go has the opening as far back as 1959, but I don't think it's consistently, right? C15 is how I'd handle it. C15, ignore it, play elsewhere. Alright, so Black apparently is of the mind that we're going to take advantage of this right now. So he's going to create an attack here, which is how we're kind of bleeding into a bit of a more of a shape sort of lecture. Simply because when there's weak groups running around, shape kind of becomes an important factor. If a person doesn't have good shape is going to be really, really screwed. How do you get shape? Where do you get it from? Can you get it in Sente? All of these good questions are what we have to ask ourselves. So here, Black has given White two basic options. He can try to attach underneath, not the best option, that's pretty submissive. We can also come on out, thus trying to surround and put a larger attack on our opponent, because we're also threatening not only the one stone, we're threatening a surround on the cornerstone, and that's doing two things at once. Now, since you just heard that last thing, the whole two things at once thing, then you should probably know that that's what's going to be picked, because whenever you can play two moves, or not two moves, that's just cheating. Whenever you can play a move that does two things at once, that's probably a good thing to do. So what we're going to do is not cheat and play two moves at once, but we are going to play the dual purpose move. Q9 maybe. What was Q9? Q9. Okay. Hurakami? That is very unusual, and I would like you to... I'm going to pick on you a little bit, and I want to know how you arrived at this move, because that is extremely strange. What is your thought behind Q9, Hurakami? Because if we're thinking about things like proverbs, your basic rules of attacking, We're thinking that we don't want to attach to our opponent's stone lest we make them stronger. So this kind of says to me, we might be making our opponent stronger, unless we've read out something very, very specific here. I think the dream scenario here would be to connect underneath. But even that is fraught with danger. Can we go under? Yeah, we can't do that, right? I mean, we can cut. But this is going to threaten to link up. And we can't really do anything about that, otherwise our stone's going to get killed. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like this attack. This is too one-sided. You're trying to do just the one thing, and white here is going to try and do two things instead. So, you know you're under attack. You know that if we want to protect our one stone at Q8, we're going to defend it. Can anyone see a way to defend the stone in such a fashion that you can envision making solid shape for said stone? Is the first question I'm going to ask. Shouldered at Q10. And what shape are you thinking about when you see Q10? Is there a specific pattern in mind that you have? I just have a general move. Okay. Kel, though, is immediately thinking of a table shape, which is the right idea. What we're thinking of here is we are going to hit the stone. When we hit the stones, our opponent responds to the stones, and then when we respond to the stone, we can jump up. He's going to probably threaten to cut through us because he doesn't want us to get that move. If we get a move here, that's a very, very powerful turn, threatens to surround his group. He doesn't want his groups to be surrounded, so he's not going to allow that. So he'll do this, at which point we can make our happy table shape. Though in this case, we're going to alter it slightly and play here because it's threatening to go through the T-space. So this is one example of how you can get yourself out of a bit of a dangerous situation just by knowing how to make shape. In this case, not only are you making shape, but you're also attacking with said shape, so you're doing two things at once. So once again, white has proven that he's a pro because he's thinking about two things at once, and black has proven that he's a pro as well because he's not just blindly making shape, he's making it in a way that applies pressure to his opponent. So we've got really good things going on so far. Unfortunately for white, there's no way out of the fact that you are threatening to be cut. One moment. Alright, so sadly, white has to defend. There's nothing really nice that we can do to fix it. In this case, we just have to bite the bullet and fix directly. Indeed, try to peep to fix. It's our only forcing move. But now what do you think we should do? We fixed the problem. It is vulgar, but sadly there's nothing really good that we can do instead that's going to cover it in Sente. Jerba says we have to get out. Do we have to get out? Do we not have Sente here? Can we not play away? Because I can tell you right now that most 5Qs would say, forget this. My opponent probably can't kill me, so I'm going to enclose. I would expect this from a Q. No offense, fair Qs. You're awesome, but I, I don't know. I'm prejudiced, I guess. I guess, yeah. I suppose that's how that works. However, if you play away right now, simply because you think you are not going to die, that leaves someone being able to attack you later on, and despite taking a large move elsewhere, you typically know that it's worth almost infinity amount of points for your opponent to actually attack you. Though, as Gerba pointed out, he said that he would get out. And that's actually the right idea. We do want to escape, because we don't want to be attacked. Because think about what we're doing right now. Does this group have an extension? Does it have any kind of shape to it? Does it have any kind of base to it? The answer to all of those is no, it does not. And now we can look at this, and we can ask ourselves the annoying same question. And that also is no, it does not. So at the very least, rather than playing away, we need to aid one of our groups to ensure that he can't just run around attacking both groups and profiting insanely in any way that his little imagination can come up with. So coming out is a very, very good idea. In Twitch chat, Omni says, that's what I would do, and I'm 5k, in reference to in closing. Yeah. I figured so. So black takes time, says, you know what? I'm going to make sure there's no wonky connections here. Disconnect you. Black says, the only weak group that I can attack on the board is in the middle. If I let that connect, I have no groups to attack. So I'm going to respond, since you are the weakest thing currently available. Unfortunately, what does that allow black to do? Any ideas? And how would you attack the 3 stones? Ooh, I love seeing these. I love seeing these ideas. These ideas are so much fun to look at. Because you see, we had a 1-dan here. It says prevent the extension. So I'm going to assume the idea here is to put a peep in. And okay, we've got 7Q backing up that idea. Oh, sorry, Q13. There we go. Alright, so we're going to have to look at that for a minute. But black takes a much simpler solution and simply plays over top. We could play a move like here, or even here. However, one thing to note about the high one is that we still have the ability to begin making some shape for ourselves down on the bottom. Because we know we can attach and honey underneath, because this is a pretty reasonable way to begin making shape for ourselves. White can't die here if black gets, too... I'm probably not going to do that one. If black gets too aggressive, what's really going to happen is we're just going to lose a stone. For no real good reason. If we play low, we have the exact same thing. We can attach here. If white plays the hane, we know that we can jump out, or we can even double hane. And begin making shape for ourselves that way. The Atari doesn't really matter, because it just falls into a nice natural shape again. And as pointed out in the chat, the ultimate downside to all of this is while we're trying to attack this and trying to get something going, we've made white stronger to the point where these stones are now becoming in trouble again. They're behind enemy lines. The shape they have is not going to be enough if they're surrounded. So the attack is now firmly against us, and we haven't really accomplished very much. So instead, much simpler solution is to simply go over top. Our black stones here aren't going to suddenly turn around and be in trouble. White obviously needs to live, so he's going to respond. We know that if we get to honey out of 2 or 3 stones, then we're doing pretty good for ourselves, so we know that we can push. there is a cut point. There are multiple cut points. And one way of this turning really, really bad is if our shape begins getting poked. So though we really would love to immediately run this all up the board, if we possibly can, and get a large wall, we have to be careful of counterattacks. We have to be careful of things, even something as simple as poking here, or trying to get both of them in. So white gets the influence that black is trying to obtain. All this would be very, very bad. Not to mention we have to be aware of our own cut point here. So we're going to defend ourselves. But how are we going to defend ourselves? Let's see. Fraud width says M12. Okay, that was probably a long time ago. Because M12 is there. M10. That would be, that's okay, that's really local. M9, getting into some more shape kind of idealios. Pushing once more is a bit of a gray area, because we can see that this area here that white has, we might be able to do something, we might not. If we do push, and put white one stone closer to our enclosure before we deal with this, then we might get our corner completely enclosed. So that could be a problem as well. I mean, right now we're not going to face the attachment, but we might see it later. L7. Jerba. How did you arrive at L7 there, Jerba? What is L7 doing? With pressure on the white group doesn't have eyes, and it looks quite shapy. Indeed, it is doing all of the above. White doesn't want to see a cap on the right group right now, and black could risk things like a push up again. Black could risk things like a trying to, I don't know, do something in this little area, maybe having a shape here or a base here for white. But there's no reason to kind of bet if we're going to have sensei from that or not, when we can just play one more move that's going to be in sensei, because we know our opponent doesn't want us to cap. So this, nice forcing move, nice shape move. We're not being too aggressive. We're taking care of our problems as they're arising. So right away, I am liking black in this game. I think black is doing very, very well. Problem solved. We can go back to pushing on the second, on the words. Pushing to try to get ahead of, 2 or 3 stones. White obviously just can't keep extending one by one. That's no good. I mean, if we jump one more stone here, then we might see black coming out from the corner, take more territory, threaten us around. So white does the only thing that makes sense and leans on the corner. Try to borrow strength to get out. Black fixes corner. Stone was damaged, only makes sense. Allowing white to finally turn and not be so hurt. Black Hanes also creates a cut point, so black asks, are you really trying to protect all of your cut points? Black says, nope. I'm going to make myself nice and strong. Not giving you more cut points. White says, okay, good answer. I'm going to go back to escaping. To which black, because he doesn't have too many cut points, he's got this one, and this one here, right, has been protected. We protected that one with L7. Allows us a double Hane. And that is one of the important points of why we make shape. Because then we can play aggressively, like in situations such as this, where we're looking to get more for ourselves. If we had omitted this move maybe, or one of the other shape moves, then we might not have been able to play aggressive. If we had not minded our shape when we were playing such a response, even such as this, then again, we might be in trouble because there's so many cut points here. Here we know we're not. Doesn't take very much reading to see you can't cut when there is no cut. So we're all good. White's still trying to live. Black's still saying, I'm going to surround you on a large scale. And now does anyone think that White is still going to win this game? Just out of curiosity. Just out of curiosity. Frogwit says White is going to play this game. Jerva says White's going to win this game. Even despite the fact that Black has the Great Wall of... that's probably not a good thing to say. The Great Wall of Influence. I was not going to say the Great Wall of China, but thank you for doing it for me. Everybody knows there's no territory in the center. Actually, I think it was like, in the very last lecture we went over, and I want to say that I've uploaded it. Oh god, did I upload it? Oh no, did I upload it? I've been like really, really busy. I don't know if I've uploaded it. I need to check real quick. I'm sorry. Anyway, if I did... Okay, I did upload it. Yeah. We saw a game of Yi Cheng Ho's, right? No, sorry, Yisidol. And we saw that a large middle came from out of... I usually want to say out of nowhere, but no, we saw it coming, and much territory was obtained. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Could do something there. So White's going to live. Black is still poking. Alright, now at this point, it's fair to say that White's alive, because we can't really get rid of the eye. And there's no way that we can get rid of like points like this, and this, and this. We just can't stop everything. So White's not going to die here. So alright. We have the wall now. That spans over half the board, mind you. Corner's still fine for Black. White's finally gotten Sente. Yeah, on the bright side, it's in... Yeah, on the bright side, it's in Gote. If this was completely surrounded in Sente for Black, the game would end. I would have to say that there's no chance of Black coming back, and this game would be over. D15 next. Could. Bottom left enclosure is bigger. Moboy says D3 next. Indeed. We could play the upper left enclosure. Trouble is, the upper left enclosure has nothing to do with the only development we have on the board right now. Eternity, I'm saying that if Black was completely fine and did not need this defensive move, thus had Sente, then White probably would not be able to come back into this game. So White encloses the bottom. We can see some potential here now, right? I mean, we can drop down, and we can see some, extension. So we've got this tiny little area that we could do something with, potentially. Oh, Black couldn't come back? Black couldn't come back into a losing game because he was winning too large. See? That's what I meant. There you go. So now we've got Sente for Black, since White enclosed. Now we could do something small and play on the bottom, make sure that the whole enclosure thing doesn't happen. But the problem with doing that is then White's going to have Sente again and probably take another enclosure. So getting two enclosures out of, right after this sequence would be kind of large. So approaching the top left is a bit of a must. Top left is approached. White is very, very careful around this thickness. Well, I could pincer. That might give more influence to my opponent. And then I'm going to get attacked. But I can't run because my opponent has the middle. So, okay, White backs off. Bright side, no extensions are really optimal for black on the top of the board. There's no stone that we can attack yet. Black decides to fix that and play a huge extension because he wants a fight. All of that influence, he's trying to provoke something here. It's like, I have the influence. You are going to fight me. So get on with it. What do you think? Can we afford a fight? Do we jump in there? Do we play D13 in YOLO style? Mo Boy says white's a better fighter. Wouldn't black want to approach the top high instead of low? Problem with high approaches is it leaves invasion points, as we see from white. White approached high, got influence, but because of moves like S8, we have forcing moves to reduce that area. G17, I'd say. Yeah, G17, doesn't move on the top. Yeah, okay. We could play that. It's extremely slow, though. If you play a move like that, you're letting your opponent extend again. You're letting your opponent attach. You're letting your opponent decide, well, I don't respond to anything you just did, so I'm going to play your large move on the bottom. And you'll be very, very sad. Very, very sad indeed. So instead, white actually plays on the bottom. Or plays from the bottom, rather. Says, you know what? I'm not going... Yeah, I'm kind of wondering at this point if Jerba is quote-unquote guessing all of these moves, or if Jerba's maybe seen this game before. I don't know. I'm not trying to accuse you of cheating. I'm just going to sit here and imply it for a little while and get you to defend yourself. I'm kidding. The moves are very, very obvious. You could be getting these right simply because they are very, very obvious moves. And we've been talking about them the entire time, so based on context, can see them. So yeah, we know we don't want to attack, so we're not going to attack. We're going to get our opponent to defend themselves. And white's like, I'm going to try to take your corner, because for some reason you don't seem to want to fight me. So now you got to attack. You're losing your corner. And to be fair, white doesn't have a lot of territory. I mean, where's white's territory coming from right now? White's territory is coming from over here. And that's it, really. I mean, that's all. So Jerba, where would you play next? Not C18. Okay, that's good. That is, once again, Jerba gets the correct answer. We do not play C18 here. Instead, we have no choice. We can't keep defending ourselves because that's insane. We do have all of this influence that we want to try to use, or try to reduce, rather. So we gotta do something about it sometime. So we played D11 because Jerba said so. Once again, it's an easy way of getting shape. Everyone should know this by now. If black simply extends up, we can do jumpy jumpies. If he tries to poke at us, we can do jumpy jumpies. And then we got shapy shapies, so we're all fine. And we get to connect back. So black's not going to do that. We've seen that variation, and that's a bit of an issue for us. Black extends this way instead. Indeed. Now, here's the problem. Here's a slight problem. If white jumps in this direction, it leads real naturally to the attachment against his group. And at that point, we've got exactly what we're looking for. We finally, we were really, really patient, and we finally got the attack that we're looking for. So all you really have to do in this game, and I've said it over and over and over again, I'll continue to do that, is focus on reading 2 moves ahead. If you can do that, you're good. Like if I jump here, he's probably going to get there first. Okay, I don't want to do that one. That would be bad. So instead, white plays the Hane to invite the cut. Because if we get a new group here, the beforementioned cut, then we can use it to, you know, get our own shape and connect up and things. Our opponent does play the cut because, I mean, you can't just play submissively. You can't just be like, oh, I don't want you doing that. I'm just going to give you everything that you ask for. Sure, why not? Yeah, there you go. I mean, we don't want to play it this way. This way is way too passive. So we're going to be aggressive. That's what I would do. So our opponent is now forced to try to attack to get any kind of connection for himself. Black takes. Why not? Threatens to connect. White connects up. Or black connects up, sorry. Unfortunately, there's Aji remaining. So we don't have much of a choice in this. But we can connect underneath and save our stone, giving us also access to the corner. However, we have shape now, which is a good thing. So white's moves have got him out of trouble so far, but there's still that whole small issue that points are becoming a serious problem. I mean, black's influence, you're right, isn't so scary. It's going to still get a few points, though. So what we have to do now is figure out what to do. Maximum points equals M3. Frogwit says drop down. Jerba says drop down. No N3. I completely agree with that. Let's not play N3 because that hurts our stone. We probably don't want to do that. So you're quite right. Oh, well, N3 for max points. Well, we got to be careful about that, right? Because all of this is going to be Sente. So at the very least, we have this to look forward to. Oh, you're kidding. Okay, I see. I do not understand sarcasm when it comes in text form. I am sorry about that. Alright, so that's too much. This is immediately setting up a win condition for those Hearthstone players in the audience. This is one of our win conditions. Black doesn't have... Black has not a lot of points. The corner's ours. We've extended clear across the board. I mean, farther than we're normally supposed to be able to. I mean, if we take out moves... I'm not going to do it right now. I might mess up the tree. But if we take out J5 and L5, then typically we would not extend that far. But the fact that we do have those means we can extend that far. That means our corner extension is way too large, which means if we want to invade this, we're going to need to know how to make shape again. So how do we invade and make shape? Kel says D2. Lowboy says E3. The question now is, what is Jerba going to say? Jerba says E3. Oh my. That is actually the correct answer. Now, we have two choices here. The attachment is true. E3 and D3 are both good choices in that they're both attachments. The attachments means our opponent's going to respond to us, which means we're going to be able to work against something to get strength, which is what we want. For example, one thing that we don't want to do is just be like, I need to live here, so I'll play later. You don't want to like drop a stone in the middle of everything, because that's a great way to die. I mean, you're not going to be able to run anywhere, and then at that point it's just a game of pokey pokes. Like pokey pokes, and pokey pokes, and pokey pokes, and pokey pokes. Not that pokey poke, that's a bad pokey poke. But we can see we can like poke like 10 cues, and we'll probably accidentally kill this group. We don't have to read very hard. Right? I mean, that's all it takes. There we go. So, since we don't want to die to any one 10Q or better, we need to find ways to get our opponent to respond to us, which usually leads to attachments. Now, it was mentioned that we could do D2 as well. That's true. This is usually a bit more of like an I don't care kind of move. I mean, this move is the one that just doesn't care about anything. It's like, all right, dude, look, I'll be on the outside, I'll be on the inside, I'll be wherever you want me to be. Just play away, and I'll respond. So in this case, we might see this, because this is pretty big, right? We'll live here, and then we're going to probably continue to expand in the middle or something, and that's pretty good for white still. Most of the bottom is kept, expansions are going on, reductions are going on as a result, so all that good deal. This on the other hand says I'm living on the outside, and that's the only way I'm living. So, alright, we need to live, which means we need shape. How do we make shape? Oh, you want to do it? Kel. You need to work on your shapes, man. You want to play here? That's really aggressive. What shape are you thinking about when you're playing this? It's kind of weird, but almost any time that we say, you know, you need to quote-unquote make shape, the shape that you're usually referring to is a friggin' table shape. We're just like not putting the word table there. And this is one of the instances, because like on the right-hand side we saw like, hey, you need to quote-unquote make shape. Oh, I wonder how you're going to do that. Like, I'm going to do that by making pretty much a table shape. That's what I'm going to do. And then later on, we needed to make shape again. It's like, you know what? I'm going to treat this as just like one gigantic table shape. So that's pretty much what we're going to do there too. And here's pretty much the same thing. It's like, all right, I need to live somehow. How am I going to live? And the answer, yeah, is G5. Why? Because we can kind of still imagine being able to make that friggin' table shape here, right? So it just keeps coming back over and over and over again. So that's the idea here. Now, for those of you who might be looking at this and saying, no, wait, you can't do that. If you do that, your opponent is going to push and cut through you, and that would be bad. No, that's actually going to be very, very good. If your opponent pushes and cuts, you get massive amounts of strength from it when you sacrifice your F3 stones, the result of which is white probably going to die on the right-hand side. So that's kind of sad. So what do you do here as white? If you believe, if you've got it in your heart that you believe that white is going to live, then he must do something really, really good here. Because he still has no territory. And if you think that white's going to live, you better have a good move. Oh, this is not about white making eyes. This is about white attacking black. K7, make table shape. A little bit passive, a little bit passive. Though I guess we could make like a little bit of an elongated table shape and poke it black. But alright, here we go. Not with shapes so much, but with basic fighting principles. You know, surround your opponent, preferably in Tente. So we go with K7 as Kel has pointed out, though I'm not sure how K7 makes table. Oh, that one. Okay, yeah, that works too. Not because it can make a table shape, though, but because we're threatening to surround our opponent, who is still, you know, behind enemy lines. White, of course, responds with making his shape, because he needs it to live. And never responding to the attachment because we're behind enemy lines. We don't have time to do that, so we must escape. Wait. Everything I said is a lie. Like I said, you want to respond to this because it's an attachment, and you wouldn't want to ignore attachments despite being behind enemy lines. I don't think you have any idea what you're talking about. Shh, don't tell them that. Okay, so the idea was there. That's kind of interesting. Why wouldn't you just completely surround this group now? He responded to you. You could cap him. Are we not strong enough to perform a cap? That would break our shape, though. That would break our shape. I guess that's a point. I guess that is a good point. Alright, I guess that works. Either way, black is doing too much, can't respond to the cut. Because if he responds to the cut, then you can keep being attacked. So, as in, like, can't respond by protecting the cut, is what I mean. We can't, like, play here now, right? Otherwise, bad things. So I have to come out. Gotta take advantage of cut. Black can't really do much besides try and connect up and do stuff like that. Gets a point for himself, which is good, because now black's living as well. Unfortunately, it also means that, you know, black's pretty much out on the bottom. So white takes time, or black takes time to take an ascension for himself, which is all very, very nice. White says, but wait a minute. If you are doing that, what about this group here? Oh my god. Yeah, rip tree again. Sorry. Push first, and then what about group there? Black says that's fine. I can use this quite easily. Either you're going to go down, and then I can be fine there, or you're going to go over, and I can be fine that way too. Black cuts, or white cuts. Let's see, did I want to go over this part? Let's see, did I want to go over this part? This was just for a shape. I think our general shapes are gone now. Yeah, pretty much are. Alright, so what I'm going to... Oh, wow. Is it really... Oh, my God. Have we really been doing this for 53 minutes? There were, like, 2 games we were going to go over. I remember saying that distinctly at the beginning of at the beginning. We were going to do that. There is obviously no time to do that right now. Okay, so what are we going to do instead? I guess I'll go over some more of this game. And I'm going to have to go over the other one on a real board, because there's not enough time for both. We might as well do this one some more. Alright. My bad. Wow. How is it 53 minutes already? Maybe I should make these an hour and a half lectures from now on, because that is crazy. Alright, so anyway. Suffice it to say, Black is attempting to surround the white stones, make certain they can't go anywhere. White's attaching, trying to escape. Black plays Hane, White does similar. Now we have a small problem on our hands. He knows that he can't keep everything, so he's just trying to get some of it out. Black responds by taking his profit. This is nice and secure, so we know this is ours. Nice 2 stones. Not the best use of a wall of this size to, you know, kill 2 stones, but they were applying lots of pressure, so it has been paying off. It has been paying off. White takes a stone, but that also means Black is free to follow up. This is normal game, yes. And White's going to follow up by poking its shape again. Black says, go for it. I'm going to kill your stones. Why did it branch off? Because I did that first, when there should have been that. Thank you for, again, pointing out that I broke the tree again. Alright, so let's see. We've got that. White says, I'm going to force you to kill off my 2 stones. Might be able to save my 1 stone. That'd be really, really great. Which is why Black does not allow that to happen. Make certain that stone doesn't go anywhere, because then there's a no weak group on the board, and that would be really, really bad. So okay, we got that in Sente. Threatens to cut through. Forces Black to defend, otherwise he's losing stuff. Forcing move. Threatening to surround. You can see here he's threatening the lovely little H9 move, which might wind up isolating Black again, which we cannot allow. So we're going to connect. The only thing that we can do. And thus, everything is once again completely fine. We've got the upper left pretty much okay. The middle white stones and black stones are both pretty well okay. So we need a large point. The profit that Black got from the wall wasn't as large as it could have been. In the end, usually what we expect from games where someone's developing influence, it's mostly wrecked for everyone involved. And we can kind of see that here. White's not really getting a lot, Black's not really getting a lot. They both kind of had to reduce each other, so we have these weird games where everyone was forced to make a shape in the middle. But now we need a large point. Any thoughts on where large points are coming from? Preferably in Sente. Preferably in Sente. Topish. When you say topish, what do you mean there, Kel? Kel Dragar. That would be an invasion. You mean F18-ish? Okay. Wait, F18-ish, sorry. F18-ish. Oh, that top. Oh. H2 seems large. R14 as well. Black decides to go with S15, because that's directly threatening to reduce the heck out of Black. So we got that in Sente. Don't have to respond to it just yet if we have other Sente moves, which White does in fact have. So we play the Atari. Forces a response. Connects on up. Our middle is now completely a-okay. Black says, are you really fine there? Because I'm pretty certain that I can poke at that. But White's just like, that's not a poke, that's a small knight. I can cut you. So we are now cut. I am destroying the board because I'm very, very bad at forcing moves. Since we are cut off, White has to defend himself, sorry. Because if we do play the moves that I was stupidly about to play, we're reducing our own liberties, at which point we're in a great deal of trouble, because we can't save ourselves. So too many bad things occurring there. Can't do that just yet. We have to defend. Black also responds. Now we can defend ourselves. Takes a little bit of reading. Black comes out. White comes out. Plays through exactly what we just went over. Preemptively goes into this. But that allows White to connect. Black gets to save himself, and White gets some more territory. Alright, so it's not too bad. Black says, I'm going to poke at that. White says, I'm going to poke at that. That's pretty big. We can play the Atari and connect on up. Finally got a force move out of White before we go back and play here. Save the stones that we're invested in. And now we're getting into endgame. White says, forget endgame, I'm still killing things. Black agrees that is in fact the case. And moves to reduce a little bit of that. Before going back and reducing some more up here as well. Which seems fairly large. Because all of this is turning out to be Sente. That is a very, very large reduction. On the bright side, that one was just a misclick, I swear. I didn't think he was going to play there. That one's not my fault. White takes one stone. Running out of very, very large points here. Let's see. Threatens to connect up. That's not going to work. Same thing. Suddenly we're going to code, which means I would lose this game. That's a very large threat, because everything dies if these stones are not dead. Pokes at the center shape. Tries to reverse Sente. Not really, Jerba. What happens usually is once I ruin the tree once, I stop trying to preserve it. So it's just like, alright, who cares? I'm just not as careful at that point. Or maybe what I'm really doing there is I'm trying to see if you, Jerba, really know what the next move is, because you will say something if I get one out of order. See, there you go. I'm testing you. Let's see. What was I doing? Yeah. Threatens it back. We're not going to respond. Instead, we're going to threaten kill. All the things. Black says, I'm going to try to kill you. But White is actually picking up solid points from cutting Black off. So this is a little bit problematic. Because now we're all in. I mean, we've given up points because we're fighting this freaking Co. Things are escalating. So, alright. We're now all in. Yes, I would lose this scenario. So, alright, Black says, I'll tell you what, let's just trade back. I'll let you live on top if I can have my stones back. White says, no deal. Okay, so we're still in the Co. White says, I'm going to kill your corner. How does that sound? Black says, no deal. We're still in the Co. White says, I'm going to connect up all of my stones. How's that sound? Or wait, what? No, Black's going to connect up and then no deal. Okay. White says, how about I kill you here? And Black says, no deal. See, it's Co's aren't that scary once you get to think about them. They're just, you know, negotiations. They're business negotiations. That's all they are. I wonder how good attorneys are at playing Go. Anyway, let's see. For some reason, what am I doing? Oh, right. Wait, no? What's going on? Ah, right. Retake Co. Go ahead and play the Atari. Gonna go ahead and keep that. Co's are scary for most Q players, and for Don players who are really Qs at heart, apparently, such as myself. So I understand. I can understand that. White says, I'm going to threaten here, but Black says, aha, that is just one more Co. Wait, no, it's not a Co. That's just, what the heck? So yeah, we connect. What's going on here? Oh, right, you take, but then we've got this, because we're alive. Okay, this is a problem. So now what do? I guess we gotta threaten. Okay, got that threat. And then we're gonna connect, I suppose. Is that a connection? Let's see. Doot, doot, doot. Okay. So B is still okay in the corner, because there's no time to do anything. We can't defend and try to poke out H19 and all the things that we have to do in order to try to kill Black. So White had to save self. Black says, I'm going to Atari. White says, I'm going to yeah, can't really stop that, huh? That doesn't quite work. What can Black do now? We still have that on the left, so we're fine there. We've got the eye there. Could play that, but that's fine. Could, what else can we do? What else can we do? Because we need a... Not a whole lot of options. So Black says, alright, here's what we're doing instead. I'm going to... Wait, what? How far back was that played? Oh my god, you're kidding me. Oh my god, are you joking? Alright, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But let's use our imaginations and we're going to pretend that this was played a long time ago. To give you an idea how long ago, this was played here. So let's just imagine that was always present throughout the entire game. As Black's next move is the Atari, which doesn't make sense unless you actually have the move on the board. So White connects. Black has to evaluate what's going on the board. To be fair, Black got a minor victory, right? Black got a minor victory. The middle stones, for example, these ones over here, you know, not doing so good. Unfortunately, that's pretty much the only territory that he's got. The right-hand side for White is kind of large. We're picking up points in the middle as well. And the left, the top's going to be a connection. Well, actually, those ones aren't quite dead yet, are they? We can save them still. He needs another move over there in order to kill those. So he needs to kill those. He needs to give up Sente to kill these stones. Either way, it's way too much. Because then he's going to be going into endgame on his opponent's turn. He's going to just keep playing Sente on him. So Black says, forget this, I'm resigning. And White wins the game. So that happened. I can't believe that stone was not there the entire time. Okay, in my defense right now, like how my setup is, I have my microphone actually blocking that part of the board. I couldn't actually see it until I turned my head to look for the next move. And then I'm like, oh, that was there. I should like take a picture of that with my phone as proof that I'm not making that up. It sounds like excuses. A little bit maybe. Anyway. Interesting game on shape. I didn't mean to go over all of this. Suffice it to say, the important parts of this game occurred way before, around that same time, actually. The important parts of this game, how to get shape when you are attacking. We found a little bit of attacking, like direction of play type of stuff, difference between the pincer and the surrounding, which was good to go over too. But over and over again, it came to the importance of going back and defending. That way we can do things later, such as playing aggressively, such as in this situation. We were able to in this case, Black's wall wasn't all that great because White wasn't falling for the trap. The trap right here was doing something way too aggressive, like jumping in and really getting the attack going on. Let's see. So yeah, things like here, understanding the danger of if we just blindly play shape and try and do, this kind of thing, then we're reducing ourselves way too large. Same thing with Black. If we just blindly play shape, then we're under attack, or we're cut off, and we're in a lot of trouble at that point, because we've given Black exactly what he was looking for, that one weak group to assault. It's running only directly to the center of the board, where he's nice and strong. So we realize the danger of that. When it came time for invasions over on the bottom side of the board, we knew how to make shape there. And again, over and over and over again, it's kind of weird, but the most important shape you can realize in this game is the friggin' table shape, because it occurs with great frequency over and over and over again. You know what? Let's label these with different marking tools so you know what I'm talking about. We've got that one there, we've got that one there, we had this one over here. And if we keep doing the label tool, let's also do, well, I can't do that one, that one gets all messy. Suffice it to say, we were able to see in this game the importance of making shape. Unfortunately, in the game that I was going to go over next time, or after this, we saw the importance of killing things. And how fun that is. Unfortunately, we'll do that later. I will do that maybe this weekend or something. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. Maybe learned a little bit more about shape and its importance. We will again have a lecture week after next, as per usual. If you are not already following me on the wonderful places such as Twitter, so you know when I actually go live, which I am right now on Twitch. Or if you are not currently following me on my YouTubes, then you are unfortunately doing something wrong, because you should be doing so. That way you have access both to my lovely Go videos as well as notifications and when I'm doing something Go related for your benefit. When are you going to upload more of your games? I've been uploading one of my games every Sunday, though this week's was Monday because I forgot about it, and that was my bot's game against the Tudon. Apparently I've been notified that there's another bot out nowadays, but it's playing like 15-second Byo-Yomi, so I don't know if I really want to play against that. I mean, yeah, the Dolram bot over there, and he's playing what, 15-second? Yeah, 15-second 5 times. That's super blitz. I mean, you don't really have time to think in those games. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll play it, maybe I won't. It really just depends, because 15 seconds. Maybe dwyrin can try hitbox stream sometimes. I do have an account over there. When Twitch was going all crazy, I did set one up as an emergency, but I don't know. I didn't actually stream on it because I felt like giving it to terrorists. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.